Here we're going to the second semi-final of the men's foil competition.
That was Kurakor. First hit was Kurakor. That's when the bodies come together. Kurakor means body to body in French, and whereas before they used to card it, they no longer card it. So. You see that Fitzy just did a kind of feint. He opened his attack and he was probably waiting for the parry post, but Husayn actually jumped in and caught him, nicked him off target. He's got to be careful with that.
It's a risky tactic, that one, opening yourself up to the attack.
Yeah, it's got to be perfectly timed. Very nice counter parry post there. Yeah, I think Fitzy probably is asking the ref to explain himself, because he probably thought that was his beat attack, even though he kind of, there was a slight pause after the beat. He probably thought his action was continuous, but the referee said no, he stopped, and Husayn took up the attack. And
you were explaining earlier on, you're not necessarily allowed to complain to the referee, but you can ask.
You can ask, yeah. You can't say, no, ref, that's not right. But you can ask them to explain the phrase. Yep, so Fitzgerald's first attack was no, he misses, and Husayn gets a remise and is off target. Husayn seems to be at the moment catching up on all of Fitzgerald's mistakes, where he's just falling short and he's catching on the remise or a last minute parry pass. Here we go, they're up close. No remise.
Crowd starting to get into this.
It looks as though Fitzgerald is slightly scared to attack. Again, he just missed his attack, and Husayn's getting him on a very quick remise, which actually he's getting it perfectly timed and perfectly executed. It looks as though Fitzgerald is afraid to attack. I think he's trying to draw Husayn and trying to wait for him to attack and then finish with a parry post. Oh, it's so quick. Husayn really has got his point on tonight. It's very, very accurate fencing.
I wonder how much the fight against Keith Cook took out of Jamie Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very intense fight. And Fitzgerald, obviously, he put so much into that fight, so of course he's probably going to be a bit tired now. Here we go. He seems to be trying to... You see that little feint? Trying to get Husayn to react somehow, but Husayn's just not reacting. Husayn attacked a little bit too close, and his weapon just missed his target area, and Fitzgerald was trying to get his point on in the remise.
30 seconds left in this first period then, and it's a pretty comfortable lead for Husayn Rosowsky at the moment.
Again, attack is parried, but it's off target. I mean, the speed of Rosowsky's riposte are just unbelievable tonight. It's very difficult to get out of that.
First hit then for Jamie Fitzgerald. That'll maybe settle the nerves a little bit. He now realises there is a good section of the crowd behind him.
Yeah, that should give him a boost. It was a very nice counter parry post there. Got 7 seconds. I should think they're probably going to just stop the break.
Off.
Yeah.
4-1 then at the end of that first period. Yeah, I just wonder if Jamie Fitzgerald is not surprised to be here, because I mean you've been talking in very high terms about his ability as a fencer and his technical ability as well, because he does have a very classical style. Yeah,
he does. He's always straight down the line. He does fantastic, 1-2 attacks, even 1-2-3 attacks, and just so clean fencing. Is really beautiful to watch. Very classical in his style. There's no doubt about it. He's a very talented fencer. He's been on the World Class Performance Programme. He was identified as potentially one of the elite fencers of Great Britain. But Fitzy, he just seems to kind of not be fencing inside his rhythm. He doesn't feel that comfortable. Husayn is not reacting to any of his feints or trying to draw him in, and so it's tough, I think.
Yeah, we'll maybe talk a little bit more about Jamie Fitzgerald and his role in that performance programme when we get to the next break, but we're just about to get underway with the second period. 4-1 then to the Englishman on the left-hand side of your screens.
Yeah, so that was a really perfect parry pass, but the referee called halt too early, so he's not been awarded the hit. And Fitzgerald is furious. He knows how important every hit is, and actually that was a very nice hit.
It's just those little decisions that, when they go against you, can play real mind games.
Yeah, and sometimes referees do make mistakes, and they call halt just before they shouldn't do. It can be frustrating. Again, Husayn's getting inside Fitzgerald's distance. He's trying to attack, but he's stepping in. He's closing him out. I should think, I don't know, Fitzgerald must be concerned about attacking now. So he's been caught out on his attack, pretty much every hit so far.
Husayn Rosowsky, in his route to this particular match, he was involved in a very tight last 8 game against Sholto Douglas of Australia, and made it through after extra time, and I just wonder if that's given him a little bit more confidence, if anything else. Him coming through it, and it's interesting to see how those different difficult kind of fights can play with each man's sort of performance at this level. Yeah,
I think so. I mean, perhaps that's given him the mental edge now, and he's walked in, like you say, much more confidently and up for it. He obviously, it was such a close call in the last fight. He probably was thinking, this is, I don't want this taken away from me. I'm going to have to really, perhaps he's thinking, I just want to have a bigger lead, so I don't have to perhaps rely. What a fantastic hit. Really beautiful parry post. His timing is really on point tonight.
6-1 then. That's a healthy lead for Rosowsky.
Yeah, and I must say this fencing is absolutely beautiful for a foilist to watch. It really is classic textbook stuff. Ramirez is off target from Fitzgerald. He's just looking, he's just got his head down a bit. He's just frustrated. These chances, he needs to get his point on. He can't afford to get any more off targets. Again, attack misses, and Husayn gets a kind of almost a stop hit there. He's really in control and very, very composed.
Of course, if Jamie Fitzgerald tries to change up his tactics and Rosowsky doesn't bite, there's that issue of passivity we've talked about over the last couple of days as well. Might come into it, and that's why Jamie Fitzgerald needs to keep pressing forward, and he keeps getting caught out as he's trying to do that.
Well, the issue is in when you know you're losing, he's going to have to press because he's going to try to create hits. Husayn is obviously getting him on the back leg, on the back, you know, his end of the piece, and it must be frustrating for Fitzgerald because he'll probably feel like he has to attack, but yet it's not working, you know. So does he kind of hang back and try to encourage Husayn to attack? And perhaps, you know, then Husayn, what if Husayn doesn't react? Then I suppose, yeah, passivity might be called. It's a difficult one for Fitzy. Attacks off target.
Some words of encouragement there from the crowd for Jamie Fitzgerald. Rosowsky's looking pretty comfortable right now.
So yeah, Rosowsky's attack was parried and riposted by Fitzgerald. That should give him a good boost. Oh, look at that. He's so sharp. He gets that parry and immediately bounces back straight with the remise. It's actually quite hard to do, you know, in foil fencing especially. You often see a fencer take the parry, but it has to be the instinctive reaction to really riposte straight away. And he's just on the point again. Another parry pass. He's so quick. I mean, really, he looks very sharp tonight. And actually, if he does get through to the final, that'll put him in good stead against the Singapore guy because he's so quick.
Yeah, Jamie Fitzgerald's body language was very interesting after that last hit. He just looked somewhat dejected that none of his attacks were.
This time he's got a very nice parry pass, but you're right, his body language is still pretty, you know, down about himself. He's going to really have to work hard to pick himself up. You can just get a couple of hits on the scoreboard, a few more hits back now. It's not over. They've still got a whole full period after this, so it's a long time.
3 periods of 3 minutes, of course, from 1st to 15.
Attack is good from Fitzgerald. I wonder if this is going to boost him just a little bit. Attack is good from Fitzgerald. Husayn is thinking, oh, hang on, you know, I put my point out in line. But the referee said that Fitzgerald, it was his right away and he started the attack before Husayn put his point out in line.
Narrowing the gap to just 4 points then. So a comeback from Jamie Fitzgerald and the crowd appreciate that. That's the Scottish team members just down in front of us. Big round of applause.
Yeah, this time his attacks are coming on and he just seems a little bit more decisive in his actions. You always know when Fitzgerald is in the fight because he starts to bend his knees a little bit more and he's very in it. Attacks off target. Fitzgerald just seems a little bit more confident attacking now. He kind of he's been much more forceful with his point, which is nice to see.
Yeah, he's getting into that crouch position you talked about.
Attack.
Yeah, so see, he's getting to that crouch position you were talking about. It's almost his tail, I suppose, and he's feeling a lot more confident that he's flexing his knees and he's ready to strike.
Absolutely, Nick. Oh, lovely finish. look at that, the series of kind of feints and absence of blade. He's moving in and out, in and out, in and out, and finally finishes it in the middle of his target. Fantastic. 9-8.
Well, if the first period belonged to Husayn Rosowsky, then the second period most certainly belonged to Jamie Fitzgerald, and he's come back. And it's just 9-8 now with 50 seconds of this break to go. He's going to have a good word with his coach. I suspect he's going to tell him to, right, you're right back in this now. The momentum looks to have swung Jamie Fitzgerald's way, even though there's still a point lead to his opponent. Yeah,
I think Husayn's just a little bit rattled there in the last bit of that second period. What he was doing is stop working, so he's going to have to think about what he can do to kind of catch Fitzgerald off guard and pick up those parry posts and pick up those kind of closing in attacks and stepping in attacks. But you know, if Fitzy is kind of decisive of his point and he decides he wants to get a hit, then it's difficult to stop his attack. So I think hopefully we should be in for a very exciting last period.
The clock is reset, both men just about ready to go then for this final period.
That was unlucky. There was a beat there. Husayn got the beat and didn't even have enough time to parry and riposte because Fitzy got so up close. The target area was too close to him for him to hit. Actually very clever tactically on Fitzgerald's behalf.
And this will be more like the Fitzgerald you've seen before, that first period, perhaps not representative of him, but I have to say Rosowsky's done very, very well to hold that at bay. 9-all, it'd be very easy to crumble, I suppose, with an opponent who's feeling confident.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been quite a series of hits now that Fitzgerald has just got straight.
7 in a row.
7 in a row, is it? Yeah, it's quite a lot, and I think Fitzgerald is probably going to keep trying to apply the pressure just to keep that momentum up. It's interesting to see where they're going to go now. You know, it's level scores, so Fitzgerald doesn't necessarily need to attack all the time. He could try something different. He looks like he's trying to wait for Husayn to attack him, but Husayn, he's not attacking. Here we go. They're most likely going to call passivity, which means you know, they could both get yellow carded, and it would go to the final hit down to the wire.
Crowd murmuring, some whistles starting, no man wanting to engage.
Yeah, this is odd.
They just fancy each other, fancy their chances, I suppose, in a sudden death. It looks like we're going to a minute's sudden death.
Yeah, so what's happened here, they've called passivity, they've both got yellow cards, so they go into the priority 1 minute. Husayn has got priority, which means that if Jamie Fitzgerald doesn't hit in this minute, Husayn will take the fight because he's got priority, so he needs to get a hit.
And how's that decided? Just by the lead he's built up previously, or?
No, that's just, you know, the priority is just to kind of, they do a switch, and whoever it lands on gets the priority. Oh,
he's
He's got it!
An absolute roar by Jamie Fitzgerald as he comes down, I think I'm right in saying, from 9-2 down to take that 10-9 in extra time.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's probably the first time I've seen Husayn attack. He was probably trying to catch Fitzgerald off guard.
Well, it looks like we're still going. I think everyone's a little bit confused as to what's happening.
Yeah, this is slightly confusing.
We'll try and get some clarity from the officials, I think. So I'm being told by the people in the know that the referee has just advanced the fight to the final minute. If we are still level at the end of this minute, and because Husayn has the priority, he will be declared the winner. But as it stands, Jamie Fitzgerald has got what appears to be a crucial hit, which will require Husayn Rosowsky to get on the attack. We've got 35 seconds left. Hopefully that's clarified a little for, well, you, Claire.
Yeah, to be honest, I did make a mistake there because it was the final period. I'll own up. But yeah, so they're going to play this one out, and whoever's in the lead, unless it's level doors, and Husayn will win because he's priority. But so far, Jamie's in the lead.
I think it's fair to say everyone was a little bit surprised by what was happening there. And that levels it up at 10 apiece with 20 seconds to go.
This is really exciting. Seconds. Jamie's going to have to go.
I'm not sure he realises this.
Oh, he's got it! This is fantastic.
What a dramatic finish. There must have been less than a second on the clock when suddenly Jamie Fitzgerald exploded forward.
What a finish!
Astonishing stuff. The crowd are actually on their feet here at the Inverclyde National Sports Centre. Husayn Rosowsky absolutely devastated.
I tell you what, you've got to have some guts to do that, where he's just kind of feigning that he doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't know that time's running out, and
do you
he
think
did a
that's what
surprise
he was doing?
attack. Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Your confidence is unwavering. I'm not so sure. It'll be interesting to find out after we're done here this evening, but he's getting a warm hug on the piece there as the lights come down. It will be Jamie Fitzgerald in the final against Zhang of Singapore in the men's foil event. That was very nearly heart-stopping for a number of his supporters, I think, Claire.
Yeah, I mean, my heart's still racing. That really is fantastic. I couldn't believe how long he was just kind of standing there, almost, just not doing anything, just waiting, and then suddenly going in for the attack like that. I mean, and it really was, it had guts to do that, because he did that right in the final second. It wasn't even with 2-3 seconds to go. It was on the dot. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we're just seeing a replay there, and the clock was still on 1 second as he made the lunge and just managed to... You can just see the clock behind him there. So close to being out of time.
Yeah, that's amazing.
If he did that deliberately, that's very, very clever and very, very brave.
I mean, it was funny because the crowd were like going, Fitzy, you got to go, and he just wasn't reacting. But, I mean, I think, of course he knows, really. He knows that Husayn had priority and he only had a few seconds to go. Fantastic the way he played it. it'd be interesting to see, like you say, we'll interview him later